Hi everyone, it is Sam with the Avalon Center again. And before I even get started, I just wanted to thank you guys again for watching our videos, commenting, sharing, participating in the online auction that we had. That was great. And we are planning to do that again at the first of next week. So keep a lookout for that. Just supporting us in any way that you can. We really appreciate it. And today I wanted to talk about self esteem and issues with self esteem related to domestic violence and sexual assault. So, self esteem, the definition of that is the degree to which one feels confident, valuable, and worthy of respect. So, you can have a really high self esteem or you can have really low self esteem. You can go back and forth, or you can, the majority of the time, live in one or the other. So, what we specifically want to talk about is how self-esteem issues correlates and affects the clients that we work with. And the thing of it is it's a very, very high percentage of coming out of a domestic violence situation, coming out of a sexual assault incident or long-term sexual assault, whatever that looks like. It absolutely has effect on the victim's self-esteem. And especially, I know I've talked in some of my previous videos of domestic violence and how that abusers seek out the insecurities of their victim and basically put them on a magnifying glass and drill those insecurities into their head daily. So, absolutely, whether you are still in that situation or leaving that situation, your self esteem issues are almost guaranteed because you've lived in a thing that has harbored those and nurtured that issue, that self esteem issue for you. So self esteem goes kind of hand in hand with anxiety, different depression, different issues like that. Not always, but it absolutely can, which are all very common symptoms for victims that are in domestic violence or leaving that, and sexual assault as well. So the biggest thing is like recognizing the low self esteem issues. And sometimes you just don't know what it is. Like you feel this way, but you feel like you're the only one that feels that way. And that's really, if I get one thing across in this video, that is the number one thing that I want to get across. It is extremely, extremely common to have struggles with your self esteem, whether you're a victim of traumatic event or not. But absolutely, if you're a victim of something traumatic like domestic violence or sexual assault, either one, it is very common. You are not the only one that feels that way. You are not the only one that struggles with that. Also, you have a reason to feel that way. You've been through something that has really, really caused you to have a reason to struggle with those things. So please don't feel like you're alone in that. Please don't feel like no one will understand. That's absolutely something that we understand, and we can give you a million options to help you work through that and see your progress and just different ways to kind of set you up for success and kind of getting out of that and working on that, because it's something that we know that you're most likely struggling with. So, one thing that self esteem can bring is imposter syndrome. So, a person uses accomplishments or false confidence to mask insecurities. So, one thing that kind of comes to mind for me for that is like a bully. You know, you always hear about a bully in school that, well, they're insecure, they have these things, is the reason they're picking on someone else to kind of cover that up. So that's kind of what imposter syndrome is I have these insecurities, but I'm going to act so overly boisterously confident that you will never notice them or see them because they're trying to hide those. So that is, one side effect of low self-esteem. um, some of the things that you might feel is that you don't like anything about yourself. You're not worthy of seeing that, having anything good happen to you, or doing things that interest you and that you like and enjoy. Like you shouldn't even get to do those things or enjoy those things. No one wants to hear about your issues or things that you're facing. One thing that I really wanted to talk about on this is, um, it's my fault that I can't seem to find people who are good to me, or you don't deserve someone that is good to you. That is something very common that we hear from our victims. And it absolutely goes back to those dynamics of power and control and that domestic violence that you've lived in, that you don't deserve anything better, that no one is going to be good to you. So there's a lot of reasons of why victims keep getting in abusive relationships, like maybe more than one, or maybe all of your relationships have been abusive. And we could certainly talk about that, but it's not the victim's fault. It's not because you don't deserve better. It's not any of those things. But with self esteem issues, it's easy to feel that way, that, well, I just don't deserve to be treated better. I don't deserve someone that's good. It's the reason that these things continue to happen. And that's certainly not true. That's certainly not the case. Effects of low self-esteem can be everything from substance abuse. Drinking and drugs are just a unhealthy coping skill, but they are certainly a coping skill that work. They're not sustainable, but it's something that people can reach for, that are going to mask and numb the feeling that they have of their low self-esteem and things like that. Self-doubt, self-harm is certainly can be a side effect. Um, Eating disorders, depression, the list can kind of go on and on with that. Um, but there certainly are ways to work on it, and that's really what we want to talk about, is that you're not alone in those things. You don't have to um, struggle with that alone. You're one of many, 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 many people that struggle with those. It's very common. So if you will call us, work with us, then we can give you exercises and different coping skills and different things to try to kind of build on that. One thing that I really like to do is plan and set small goals, so it's very obvious to see when you are accomplishing things, and you can't keep minimizing your accomplishments and only magnifying things that you feel are failures and things like that. That's naturally what we want to do if we have self-esteem issues, is only focus on the negative. But if we put it in black and white and kind of get those things in writing, then it's easier to see your progress and your accomplishments that way. And it's little steps. It's certainly not something that happens overnight, but we want to work with you on that because we understand where you're coming from. Your feelings are valid, and we hope that you reach out to us so we can talk to you about that and see if we can't help you along your path of kind of improving on that and seeing your self-worth. So we thank you. I thank you for listening as always, and thank you for your support. We will see you next time.